Welcome and thank you for joining me on Plan to Paint. Today we are going to be painting a nice sunset scene. We're going to do something a little bit different, and I don't have my surface prepared yet because of what we're going to do different today. And rather than use a liquidy white layer, I'm going to put out a base, just clear oil layer so that we still get our paints to move, but we won't have them light and on the canvas and kind of muddy down, because I want the sunset yellows to be very vibrant. So we're going to see how, I haven't done this before, so we're going to see how this works out for us today. So just taking a little bit of linseed oil onto our brush, we're going to coat the entire surface with just a very thin layer, just as you would if you were using the liquid white, because we want our surface to be wet. And when I get done with this, I'll go over the palette as I've laid it out on my board here, for those that want to follow along. Now by using this just oil layer, you'll see that it's not any imperfections that are on the surface of the canvas already are not being covered as they normally would be with the white coat, but we're going to paint all over it all, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But just like when we're using the white, we want to make sure that we've got a nice, even and balanced coating of the linseed oil. It doesn't take but a minute or two. Kind of looking at the light reflecting off of the canvas now where it's wet, making sure I'm getting a nice coat. And I think we'll go up and down, just make sure we get a nice even spread. Alright. And this picture is based on this painting is going to be based on a picture I had seen recently. Very pretty. And with an interesting perspective, so hopefully we're able to recreate that to our satisfaction today. A few little hairs popping into the painting here. Trying to make sure I pick all those off. Don't want to leave those in for the finished result. Alright. So using just the same wet brush now, bring down a little bit of crimson. Just a touch of, oh yeah, I did say I was going to go over the palette, didn't I? So today we just have some titanium white, Prussian blue, a lamp black, our Van Dyke brown, our alizarin crimson, sap green, and today I put out a little bit of Prussian green. I'm going to try, I tend to find that I use a lot more green, and we'll see using this darker green as a base with the sap green blended in with the yellows for highlights and whites. We've got our yellow ochre, our Indian yellow, our cad yellow, and our bright red. So I bring down just a touch of the blue and work that into the bristles. We want a kind of a nice little purple color to start in the sky over here. And before it would lighten more rapidly because it would mix with white on the canvas, so I gotta be careful about which colors we bring in here. I'm gonna go right into adding in a little bit of bright red here. And this is gonna start to lighten it a little bit as we move away from that corner. And we're just making little crisscross strokes. And we'll go back over all of this to blend it in better in a minute. And I'm going to take a clean brush because I don't want this to start out with, I want my yellows to be pure yellow to start. So we're going to start, our sun's just setting right here, and we're just going to start bringing that into the painting. Lots of bright. And we're going to add a little bit of the Indian yellow into this. Takes us a little bit more of an orange. Just around the edges of that. Doesn't make a big change in shift in color, but... And then we're just going to touch just the lightest little bit of orange, or bright red, which is going to cause this whole color to shift orange. And we're just going to bring this right over, a little bit more of this red right in here. And we're going to keep this yellow brush for blending this side over on this left of the canvas here. We don't want to pick up too much of that red, it'll really dominate the yellows. And we're just going to blend this out. We don't want any real crazy bold areas. And this is what not adding that white base layer, but just using a clear oil gives us to still get that movement and still get the nice blending effects, but we aren't muting our colors, so we still have very vibrant yellows. We're going to go back to our red brush and we're going to blend this out and blend it into the yellow a little bit. If you've not painted like this before, you'll find it gives you quite a workout. It's a lot of motion in your arm there. Right now we get a little bit too much of a break in our color here, so we're going to pick up some of this yellow orange. We're going to blend this back this direction and really work this edge where they come together. We want that transition to be a little bit more gradual from the yellow into the more of a violet direction. There we are. I'm going to take a dry brush. I'm just going to work this just over. Pulling some of this yellow over into our sky this direction. Not really moving much paint here, just kind of making sure we get a nice even Alright. Now, using our yellow brush, we're going to bring down some more of our cad yellow. Make this so you can make sure you can see here. And I want a deeper orange. So I'm going to bring a little bright red over here. A little bit more red, a little bit of Indian yellow. we got way too much red in there yet, so we're going to have to bring up some more. Alright, that's looking nice. We're going to start in with some clouds. And this gives us a little bit of movement. We're going to take some yellows and add in some highlights into these clouds back in here. Give them a little more depth. I'm probably going to bring down a little bit of white here too, just really want to lighten up our highlight. With that dry brush we used earlier to go across, we're just going to kind of lift these up a little bit. Fluff them a little bit. This blends a little bit of the color in there. And so far I would say I'm liking the results of not having the white layer but using the straight oil as our base coat. It's really allowing these yellows to shine through. And then clean off, lift your paint off with a brush here. And we're just going to lightly, ever so lightly, just kind of barely touch the clouds, just blends them in a little bit. A little bit better, gets any of those until I'm barely touching the canvas. Alright, so now we're going to take our palette knife, titanium white, And really we're just going to pick up a little bit of this orange we had down here. Because we're picking up a lot of this orange light. It's off in the distance. I'm just going to scrub in a peak of mountains back here in the distance. Looks like I'm going to have to mix some more of this up. We'll go a little bit darker and have a mountain range right in front of them. Just want to pull these down. These are way off there, you can't quite see them. We're just going to take that brush we've been using, our dry brush from the sky, and we're just going to grab and pull this down along with the lay of the mountains as the mountains roll down. A little bit higher, Jim. Grab that, pull it down. Just kind of blend this out down here. These ones are very far away, very much kind of lost in the distance. And then we're going to bring down a little more white. Bring a little bit of oil into this. We're going to add just a touch of orange. We're going to add a touch of Van Dyke brown in here. We want this to be a little bit darker than the previous set of mountains, but not a lot. Still carrying a lot of the orange value color, because at the end of the day we're reflecting a lot of this yellow-orange light. So take that up on the palette knife, and these ones are just a little bit closer, so they're going to, peaks are going to just be a little bit higher to us. Look at that once. Needs to be a little bit darker yet. I'll bring down a little more of our Van Dyke brown. I'm going to put a touch of crimson in here. And maybe a touch of Indian yellow to bring that back towards an orange rather than the red that it is. There we are. Lay this right in on top. That's better. We'll have another peak right there. This one's going to come right down in front of that one. We got multiple peaks along here. It's pretty far away, so you're going to see lots of Lots of different different peaks backing in here. Maybe this one's a little bit taller. It actually lives behind this one, so we're not going to come down this way much. Another one here, and this one's going to be down in front. And this one goes the whole way across. I'll leave this one be behind. Part of what's going to happen here is because this is darker, these are going to appear lighter on this side. So I want them to be further in the distance. So we're going to go ahead and put them in first here. And then we'll bring these other ones across. Alright, back into our mountains brush. Reach up here and pull these down. Here we are at Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week again. Hope your week is going well. Thank you for joining me today for this fun that we get to have on our canvases right here for everyone to enjoy. We're gonna, a little bit of mist in here, but not a lot. These are a bit closer. Alright, now these ones need to have a little bit of highlights, a little bit of reflections going on. So I'm going to bring up a bit of yellow into this mixture. So we're going to put a little bit of highlights on here. I want some of that to show dark. With all the yellow, it's not little touch of this one up in here. A little bit on this back in here. Just a touch. You can see how this one comes right out in front now. What's interesting is we're going to add in some greens to really contrast this bright colors as we move closer to Alright, so we want something that's a little bit darker and still warm, so I'm going to bring down just a little more of the Van Dyke brown into our mixture up here. We're going to use this as our shadowed side. A little bit of touches in here. It doesn't have to be real crisp in detail because these are still off in the distance, but you can definitely see where the light's hitting the side facing the sunset. And just add some character. All right. Now we've got a treed slope. I'm going to take a clean brush. And we're going to pick up some sap green. Bring down a little bit of lamp black into this. And we've got some land that kind of comes down. It just kind of works its way down into a valley down here. We're kind of standing here. Look at ourselves, the hill comes down. And so, as we get a little closer, we're going to get into this Prussian green here. This also has us going down pretty. I'll lose my canvas out of my holding stand here. And hopefully you can see it starting to form. There's this trail we're following down here. And this really needs to be a bit darker up front here with this green. We're following this trail. It goes down in there. So we're going to have this bit of a trail that goes down in here. We're just going to take that old palette knife. We're going to pick up some brown, touch of white, and we're just going to kind of cut this trail in here. Take the brush and kind of the fan brush, just kind of work this back and forth. As we get further away, we're going to start getting a little bit lighter in here. A bit too much. It's just going to disappear into the distance there. Alright, so we need a little bit of woods. We said we were on a wooded hillside, so I think it's time to make that a reality. We're going to take our liner brush and bring down some, again, more brown, a little bit of black, some crimson in here, and some white. And we're going to start drawing in some little tree shapes down in the distance. They don't have to be real detailed, they're a bit far away right now. This is where, putting some pines in here scattered throughout might help too. Got kind of a mix of trees going on in here. Maybe it'll be pines on the sides. It's up to you to decide what types of trees, where they live, how many friends they have, just what shape they've taken and they've grown up in this location. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and add in a few little pines living on this hillside as well. Probably should use a smaller brush for this, I think. Maybe I'll just use this 3/4 inch little brush here. And we'll just keep adding these in, however many you think you need to have in your painting to give it that feel of a nice little wooded hillside, pine trees all around. And we'll make a few more down in here. Just kind of sticking up. Don't really know how far away he really is. He's just out there. We got a few poking up down here. Maybe kind of a bush. Kind of liking the effect that I'm getting here with the lots of little trees kind of off in the distance with a few more kind of bushy shapes poking up. Gets the feeling there's lots of trees out here growing out. Now we got to put some little bit of trees on this here. A few leaves out there catching that evening sun. Almost silhouetted where we're standing. All right. Now we need another set of, bring down some more green into this, make this a little bit more colorful. Really load up the brush. We're going to have a set right here. And he's got a friend living right beside him. And there's a little bit of a gap in here to get another set of trees. And this makes them much further back. And a few over here. These need to be just a little bit darker. I'm going to bring down a little lamp black into this. And he's got a little friend, lives right here. And they have a friend that lives here. That one's got a double peak. How about that? Let's Let's see. We want to give those ones some indications of some trunks. So we're going to take our liner brush. And we're just going to bring in some brown, a little bit of black. We want this to be a darker value than what we had used for the trees behind them. And we're just going to draw in a little bit of indications of, wow, that was a little bit thick. Some trunks in here. I want these branches to be connected together by something. I don't think this is a true liner brush. I'm going to have to get some more liner brushes. These ones don't come quite to the point that I would like. And just some indications of some substance in here. These branches aren't just floating out in the sky. Because now we're going to take our fan brush. We're going to bring a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white up into here. And we're going to pick up a little bit of oil. Work that into the brush. We're going to add some highlights in here. With closer branches. A little bit more of the white. A little bit more oil. A little bit more yellow on these ones on this opposite side here. So we can see a little more yellow in these ones. That makes them stand out just a little bit more. Alright, that looks like we didn't miss some highlights on this one, so... Alright, now it's time to get really crazy. Got some big decisions to make. I think actually what we'll do is we'll pull down some of this color from these. We'll make the shadows here. So we want to add some yellow ochre into this. And pick up some oil on this brush as well. Got a few things happening out in here. break up this. A little bit of color out in here. What we're doing is we're just adding a little extra color, a little extra highlights in here. So we've got grasses that live down here, and we're not quite seeing them. We're just seeing a lot of dark. That should actually probably be a little bit brighter. So we're going to bring in this little Indian yellow here. A little bit of white. And we got some red in our lights. We're going to bring that in here with our yellow. We're kind of making a nice, it's not going to want to stick, so we're going to add some oil into this, make it a little bit more runny. Get that worked into the brush. So this side's going to get a little more light than it's going to have some oranges in it. So we got a little more light right in here as it comes through the valley. Alright. Now for the craziness. Some brown, some crimson, a little yellow ochre, and a bit of lamp black. Bring that into this. We got some decisions to make. Just what kind of trees are we walking along here? He's gonna live right here. Right by the trail. here we've got some nice almost need some more black into this so it is clearer as we get down into the grass here, just where the trunk is. And we need some over here. So we're going to have a shorter one that kind of is a little bit further away. It kind of lives back in here. Not quite as old, but a little further away. One here. He leads even further down that hill. And see, he's picking up his highlights from the light there. This is quite fun. I just boom, trees. And we got a big old tree. He's gonna live right here. He's gonna steal the show. And all these shapes on the sides, they kind of push the viewer's view down into this valley. It kind of captures their view. You're going to follow this road and you're going to come in here. You've got to be trapped in this little circle looking at these mountains off in the distance. And that's kind of the idea of adding these beautiful but obstructive elements to the image. As they guide the viewer into your painting. You know, they're real eye catchers. They come over, they look, they're like, oh, where's this path go? And then they start to imagine standing here amongst these trees, watching the sunset light up everything. Alright. Now we need to take our palette knife. We're going to add some highlights to these trunks. We're going to bring some white into this mixture we had. We're going to make kind of a gray. I'm actually, because of this sky, going to bring in a little bit of red into this. Kind of give it the pressure, the impression of picking up some of this light. I'm going over here to our orange we had too. Some of these I want to be a little bit in the orange. This is going to kind of say something about where our light, to where the sun is actually at in this painting. So we kind of have the sun right in here, so that one's catching the light on that side. The rest of them are going to catch the light on the other side, which is going to make it clear to people looking at the painting that the sun is... turn the knife this way, pick up a little bit of lights on this. Lay it down very good. The sun is lower than our hill, so that's got to be on the bottom side. Having a little issue getting that angle, but we'll get there. Might even need to use a brush for that one. Or figure out that it's really not that necessary and just add the highlights in that we can. Even that up just a little bit on that tree. Give it more of a consistent feel. Alright. This one out here is catching a little light. Now we're going to move into this one over here, as these ones are close to, but they're not as yellow. And this gives dimensionality, some depth to your paintings. Makes the tree look less than flat. It's not just a silhouette anymore. It's now standing in place, catching light from the distance. Just cut this in this way. Then we're going to give these things a nice set of leaves. And as we get wider, we turn form a little more slowly, so it's a larger base than you would expect. Grew a little stunted some. Maybe this A little bit of root here is catching some light off to the side because it's sticking out past the tree over there. Alright, this needs brought down. Not looking bad, not looking bad. Now, I say we get some greenery on our trees. So I'm going to take a clean brush. I'm just going to go with a bit of sap green back into our sap green and black. And we're just going to put in some darks. A little bit down here in this tree. Not quite as dark down here, he's further away. So yeah, now we want to add some nice little highlights catching those leaves on those trees. And then I think we'll blend this out a little bit down in here. This is driving me a little bit nuts. It transitions right in here a little too quickly into the lights and darks. This whole thing here now because I got a lot of black in here. Alright, so taking this brush, I'm going to pick up some Indian yellow and some white into our green and some oil. You don't want to add any red into here, because the red and the green are just going to go into a brown. It's not going to really show the highlights much. So we're just going to touch this. Start at the top and work our way around. All right, stand back and admire that a little bit. I think I like it. Alrighty, so I think this one's done. I think we are ready to sign it. Today I am going to use some bright red. I'm just going to sign it off. Sign it over here, or do I want to sign it over there? Take this, I'm gonna touch up along these roots here. Just so they don't just kind of end on a sharp edge, you could have something going on here. You gotta kind of follow what your land is doing here. The rest of them don't look that bad. So with that, let's take up this brush. We're going to bring up some oil. Do our bright red here. A little more oil. Try a lighter touch today, see if we can get it to roll off with the brush. I think today we'll just sign it right. That is decisions. We have a nice big space here. This brush doesn't hold a lot of paint, so back to the board a lot, put more paint on the brush. I'll go back over it again with the paint. Standing where I'm standing, it's kind of going a little bit of an angle. $20.22. Strengthen up a couple of those letters, but I hope you enjoyed painting along today. And I might go ahead and actually go back in here and some of these trees could use a little bit more detail, maybe. Kind of a shadow to give them some depth there. I'll have to step back and look and see if I think that. Standing this close, looks like everything should be a detail. There's not really truth to that, but that one's not so clear. Well, I guess we'll have to leave that. But as I was saying, some of these back here, they could use a little bit of shadows on the shadowed side, maybe. A little bit of indication of some shadow. Again, you don't want it to be real dark, because they're pretty far away. But just a little bit of depth to them. Sometimes it's these little things that just help bring a painting together. Alright, with that I think we'll call this one done. I hope you enjoyed painting along today. I hope you have your own very beautiful painting. And we'll try again on Friday for another wall-worthy art. Until that time, don't be too hard on yourself. Just keep painting.